Hi, this is George Alger. Today I'm interviewing the author of Renewable Energy, Facts and Fantasies. And I have Craig Shields here with me today. Thanks for being here, Craig.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about the book and a little bit about you as well. But just to kind of frame things, can you give me a real short description of what is encompassed in the book?
Sure. Renewable energy is a subject that almost everybody is trying to understand and is getting passionate about. Our dependence on fossil fuels, our chopping the tops off mountains and mining coal and burning them to produce almost half of our electricity here in the United States is simply unsustainable. Almost everybody's aware of this at this point. The only real question is, where are we going with this? What do we need to understand in order to have an intelligent, informed, responsible discussion on the subject? So what I did was, instead of just pontificating, maybe I could do some research, maybe I could just tell you what I know, I'd much rather ask some questions. So I set out to interview 25 different subject matter experts and simply tape recorded what they said, had it transcribed, edited, and just added my 2 cents, here and there.
All right. So who's Craig Shields? I mean, what is it about your background or your thinking or your life that brought you to this point to devote a chunk of your life to writing about this?
Well, I think the beauty of my background, and I'll be specific in a second, but the beauty of my background is that I'm a generalist. In other words, I don't have a PhD, though I have a degree in physics, a million years ago. I went into business. I was a business consultant for almost 30 years, but to largely Fortune couple hundred tech companies, the IBMs and Hewlett Packards and National Semiconductors of the world. So I did 800 projects for 200 clients in everything within the technology and automotive and B2B industrial space you can name. So the strength of my being a reporter is that I couldn't confuse the reader on these things if I wanted to. I don't know enough about any of them. I'm not the guy whose life work is geothermal or photovoltaics. I'm the guy whose life work is understanding enough about all of these things to convey it back to an audience.
All right. So what inspired you to write it?
Well, as I say, my business consulting career spanned a couple of decades, and that was a good, solid, productive thing from which I profited, retired, and wanted to do something else. And renewable energy and the whole concept of 2greenenergy.com has been a combination of something that I feel passionate about and something that, as I say, I just have a natural kind of background in terms of being able to understand that, look, this is not a subject. Well, it is a subject of science, but it's also a subject of almost anything else you look at a course, a college curriculum. Just open up the old, start with Accounting 101 and work down to Zoology, 405. And you won't find many subjects in there that aren't touched in some way or fashion by what you need to do, what you need to understand to be able to wrap your wits around this transition to renewable energy.
All right. And why now?
Well, I'm 55 years old, so I mean, for me personally, the answer is that I've always wanted to do something like this, and this was the perfect kind of venue. There's a perfect excuse to do this. There's the perfect subject matter. I think what you probably mean by the question is why now in terms of history instead of Craig Shields' own personal biography. But and the answer to that is simply that it doesn't, we're right up against, we have our backs right up against the wall in terms of complete gross unsustainability in terms of living on this planet. So I think the answer to that is clear to everyone. You don't need me to tell you that.
All right.